What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. It's episode number 40 now. We've got lots to get through today on the back of our season opener. More games in Lyon on the back of our winning start to the new campaign. We'll have a draw for the Europa League phase and the rest of the summer window as we continue rebuilding Olympique Lyon. Let's get to work. And in terms of sales as well, I think one of Laziri or possibly Achanor are going to go. And maybe Solch as well. Czech Republic international, 29 years old. I do like the stats, don't get me wrong, he's a pure playmaker, but we are looking for a younger team. And of course now we've got Firebrae, he's not really going to play anyway. But the key I think is keeping Fofana and Morton. If I can keep Fofana and Morton coming the end of the window, I'll be absolutely buzzing. But yeah, let's advance a few days in the calendar and see how things are looking. In fact, I think I'm going to put Laziri on the transfer list because he's not getting any better. And again, Achanor is better in 5 years younger and still growing as well. If we need someone to fill in as a backup left back, we've got Carrillo that can do that. So yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, we'll definitely sell him. That'll raise our budget to over £50 million. And yeah, I'd say today, my target, get a new right back in. If we can do that, I'll be very pleased indeed. Not going to quibble over the transfer fee. Quick sale to Almeria there. Yeah, definitely. On deadline there, we're going to spend a lot of cash on deadline there. I can already feel it. Yep, lots to get through in today's episodes. Let's jump into our first game. It's our first away day. Toulouse away in the lovely city itself. Heading into this. Again, the board has said this year, qualify for a European competition of any kind. I would say, even though we'd be technical outsiders for it based on our star rating, we should be going for a Champions League top 3 place. We're going to do that. We need priceless wins away from home. Let's get our first one here in our first away day. Toulouse away, first up. Toulouse is such a beautiful city in France. One of the biggest in the whole country as well. It's amazing when you think about that, but the club itself have only ever won one major honour. And that actually came very recently, just a few years ago in the Coupe de France. And it's such a beautiful city. I know it's more of a rugby city than a football city, so that is understandable, but it's one of those places I'm desperate to visit one day. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And perhaps we'll see the team start to gain traction in the next few years, go for more major honours. I guess we'll see. But yeah, today, what I want to do is make sure we beat them with ease. Oh, good save. And get our first away day victory. Yeah, if we are to do this, if we are to qualify for the Champions League, wins away from home are going to be absolutely crucial. I think we'll win most of our home games, but how often can we win on the road? That's the real question. Testman again from range puts it wide. You might notice he's still in that back line for Toulouse. He signed there a couple of years ago. Charlie Cresswell, as Frederick does really well there. And beats Charlie. Wonderful dribbling, good save. And turn behind for a corner. But yeah, Charlie Cresswell, he's really making a home for himself during Toulouse. I love it when a British player goes abroad and makes a home for himself in a foreign country. Because back in my day, back in the 90s and the noughties, that didn't really happen. But now a lot more British people are willing to go abroad and try and make, you know, a new city, a new place their home. I love that Cresswell's doing that right now in Toulouse. As much as I love him back in the den, don't get me wrong, he's doing well there, and fair play to the kid. Anyway, still tied at 0-0. Great start from Lyon. Just got to keep pushing. That opening goal is coming. This is crazy. I love to see the stats on this, but we must have taken nearly 10 shots already in this game. There's Frederick. Hezes. Oh, wonderfully done. Oh, Frederick, wonderfully done. What a goal! What a sensational first goal for Olympique Lyonnais, for the new number 7. I said this might be the next big thing in French football. That is absolutely beautiful, and exactly why I said this season he's got the green light to be our attacking midfielder. Now, I think we'll phase him deeper as time goes on, as our team gets better, but as we're in a transitional period, I've given the kid the green light to go forward and attack, man. Utilise all the technical ability he's got, and he did it all in that one moment. What a goal. Lyon deservedly in front. Well, I feel like we sort of burned all our energy in the first half, really. We were relentless in 45 minutes, finally found a breakthrough through double F, and held on to the scoreline as well. Back-to-back clean sheets, back-to-back wins, and a near-perfect start to our tenure with Olympique Lyonnais. So, quick sale of Laziri. He's off to Almeria. That's our backup, or, well, third choice left-back, really. So we'll take a small transfer fee, and that will see our budget rise up to just over £50 million. Let's go make a sign him. Is this the evil twin of Frederick? Because it's another double F, very similar sounding name. He looks He looks the exact same. Isn't that the same player? Hold on, let me take a look in the squad hub because I swear they have the exact same face and the exact same build. That's the exact same face. I'm going to put them side to side for you right now, but I swear they look identical. It's not a doppelganger, it's a clone. That is so lazy from EA, man. I might just sign him for a laugh, to be honest, because that's just silly. Right, so yeah, there's a couple of players I'm quite keen on. We don't really need to fill the squad out that much. I do want a... I can't get over that. I'm very tempted to pick him up, because I do really like the stamina and the strength. And I can see this guy possibly being a great DLP if Tyler Morton was to go. But yeah, I don't know who to sign. There's a few players I can afford here that would be really decent little pickups for us, but I don't really know who to go for. Again, I've got to spend my pennies wisely, but this guy does tempt me quite a lot. I don't really know who to go for here. But actually, before we do that, let's advance a few days in the calendar and get towards deadline day because after we do 3 more days and get to that Saint-Etienne fixture, we're about to see the draw for the Europa League phase. So it should happen directly after this advance, and we'll see who we've got in the league phase this season, and fingers crossed we'll have a kind draw. You see the match rescheduled emails there, and we'll be taking on this season our first with Lyon, Wolfsburg at home, German champions in, was it season 1 or season 2? Then we've got Midtjylland at home, Atalanta at home, so 3 home games. Oh, now we're off to the bridge against Chelsea in a repeat of last year's Champions League final with Sunderland. I'll see Anthony Guerrero again, AZ Alkmaar, Real Betis away, and matchday 7 and 8 is going to be against Lazio away and Hajduk split at home. So 3 tricky away days to wrap up the league phase. Chelsea at the bridge too. That's a tough set of fixtures there. I think we can finish top 8, but that's not a formality. Tough fixtures. And just before we play the following game against Saint-Etienne, just doing some manual searching for a young goalkeeper, and I found what seems to be a decent one here. Young Greek goalkeeper, not playing for anyone, and he may have some decent potential on base stats, so I'm going to pick him up. And the key for this is that because he's under the age of 18, after 3 years, he'll become homegrown and meet the criteria. Let's go bring him in. So for those that are new to the channel, basically we have this rule in our career modes where when we play a European competition, we have to have at least 4 players that are homegrown and trained by the club for a minimum of 3 years between the ages of 16 to 21. That's what clubs are asked to do by UEFA in real life when registering their squads. And if you don't have 4 homegrown players, you leave the spots vacant. But I like to stick to the rule just for the realism and the challenge as well. So to be fair, this kid looks alright as a backup goalkeeper. Only 16, but already 70 rated. Doesn't appear to have any potential, but with dynamic potential. Yeah, I think it's an understudy. I might make him my cut goalkeeper this year. He's taking the #1 jersey. Why not? Oh, and I missed this. Just before the following game against Saint-Etienne, we've got a bid for our left back, Ahanor, and it comes from Arsenal as well. Well, we're rebuilding right now, so if a club who's doing better than us comes in for one of our players, I don't think it would be fair to stand in their way. I want to keep him. I really like the look of him, man, as a young left back, but he's my star. Do you know what? I'll keep him for the... Well, he's going to play the following game anyway, but I think I'll negotiate on deadline day. And it looks like he will be off to the Emirates Stadium after what will be his 3rd game for us starting right back. He looks good, man. He was one of the players I was hoping to keep him for the long term. But when I said we're going to need a new right back for this season, we definitely will now as he's off to North London. Before we get there, though, back to matters here in Ligue 1. Following contest, Saint-Etienne coming to the Groupama Stadium for our 3rd straight win. Back-to-back home wins. Hopefully our 3rd straight clean sheet and possibly a place at the top of the table to end the month of August. Following game, Saint-Etienne at home. Yeah, it's a shame that, because I like the look of the kid. He looks pretty decent, but I'm not going to stand in his way when Arsenal come calling. We're rebuilding, and they are right now a Champions League team. So I know I don't have to sell. I know I don't have to, but for the realism, right now I'm not sure I commit to the project. There's a chance to get out and go to the Champions League early at 22. But I felt he was going to be the guy where, you might notice, when I join a new team, there's always a player who I inherit who seems like a squad player at best, and I turn him into one of the more important players in the club. That, I thought, could have been honest in this team, but sadly, he looks as though he's on his way to North London. Wonderfully done. Oh, what a goal-saving interception that is. Tessman through the gap, finds Frederick. There's a man out wide if you can find him. That's a great ball. Tracy is the connector. Onside. 1-0, bang, first goal for the New Zealand forward, Lyon strike right before the break, wonderful little ball inside, quick offload, simple finish, Lyon in front, wonderful ball through that. I have to say, these games are not going the way I thought they would. Inheriting this Lyon team, looking at the back line, I was worried about our defensive capabilities with a restructured back four. But instead, safe as houses, 3 straight clean sheets on the other end. I thought we'd score quite a few goals with Fofana on the left-hand side, Faber in behind, a great quick new-gen striker. I've only scored 1 goal in each game, but so far it's enough to win them. 3 straight clean sheets, 3 straight wins, and I'll take 1-0s all the way if it gets us back in the Champions League. But as deadline day is here, I am going to be as good as my word and sell Honest to Arsenal. Not going to quibble over the transfer fee either, man. I don't want to price him out of a move to North London there. Whilst we're off to a great start, I think he'd probably rather go to the Emirates for a bigger pay packet and also Champions League football. So we need a right back desperately, because once he goes, we'll have no one to play there. I do plan to bring this guy to Lyon at some point. You'll remember him coming out of the Sunderland Academy, sent him out on loan, grew really quickly, but he's been sold to Atletico Madrid this summer, so I won't be able to get him this summer window, maybe next season. I've just lost out on Doué as well, man. I was just about to say, I know who I want, I know who I'm going to bring in, but unfortunately not Desiree, but Doué, the right back, has just gone to me. I was going to bring him in, man. He was at Strasbourg. I was going to... That's why you don't wait, Docs Boys. Why you get your business done straight away. I mean, there's other targets, but those are the 2 main ones. I missed out on both of them by being too slow. Now, I mentioned before, I really want to bring in Gomes from RB Leipzig, but I just want to check, because I don't think they qualified for Europe last season, Leipzig. If they didn't, then I think we'll have the green light to go after him and get him. I wish there was a way for you to just look at a club and say, oh, they're not playing in this competition, or they're in these competitions. In Football Manager, when you look at a team's, a club's profile, it will tell you what competitions they're in and how they're getting on. But in career mode, you've got to do it manually by searching all 3, and I can't even see the. This is Sunderland won the Super Cup against Newcastle. That's cool, but this is so. Why is we know the league phase has been drawn, EA? Why don't you just show it to us? This is so annoying. Yeah, just checking over the footage I've got from the end of last season. Leipzig weren't a top 7 team, and they didn't win the German Cup as they're not in the Super Cup this season. So a trophyless campaign, not playing in Europe. And whilst I do want to bring Arias to Lyon at some point alongside Norton and Garreau, just don't have the funds to do it in the first season. With that being the case, I think we've got the green light to go after Gomes, with us being a European side and Leipzig not being. So let's bring him back to his native France. I love the pace. His stamina isn't that bad either, and technically too. 86 ball control, 84 dribbling. We are looking for a new right midfielder. Not a left footer, unfortunately, but with a 4-star skill moves and only getting better in the prime now, this will be a smart signing for a round valuation. Let's go bring him in. Approaching the end of his contract, playing for a team not playing in European football and wanting to return home. I've given him the route back to France, and he's taken it. It's coming in on a 5-year, 27 grand a week deal for just over market valuation. Really pleased with all our signings, including this one as our 4th new recruit. Welcome to the Groupama Stadium, Tidiane Gomes. Never used him before, and if I'm being totally honest here, I like to think I know a lot about football. I don't really know who this guy is. I've never come across him before, but yeah, my first time ever using him. He's got rapid pace as an inside forward, looks really good, and decent end prod as well. I like the finishing stats to get up, but other than that, no real concern on that right hand side. Really smart, cheap pickup this. Obviously, it does bump the budget down a little bit, though of course it will improve once we see the departure of Honest. And yeah, it's going to make our side a little better, a little younger, exactly what we're looking for, and of course improving the nationalist feel with all 4 of our recruits being from France. So yeah, oh no, Panaglias is Greek, isn't he? But yeah, okay, all right. Team's looking slightly better. But again, what I like is the fact that all the players we brought in, none of them are like well above our level. We've had the money, if we wanted to bring in like one blockbuster world-class signing, like bringing back Bradley Barcola, but instead we're going to be rebuilding this side gradually. It's what we're doing. It's what I want to stick to. Yeah, I feel a bit embarrassed for saying it really, but I don't really know who he is, if I'm being totally honest. And I said I like to think I'm quite knowledgeable about football, but I'm just looking up his Wikipedia page now, and he joined RB Leipzig in February, but I I've got to be honest here, I've never come across the guy, but I certainly have now. Is that Honest still going through? Oh, there we go. I just spoke it into existence. So that's Honest gone to Arsenal. So what was that, Neil? Was it around £10 million? 10 million and, no, 8.5 million, less than I thought. Wow, okay. 8.5 million for Honest. Could have got a bit more, but again, didn't want to price him out of a move there to North London. And we've got a bid there from Paris FC for Moreira as well. Now we just signed Tidiam. I might let him go as well. So we'll raise a bit more money for our budget, but only to, again, I'd say at a maximum around 26 million. So I think I will sell Moreira, but we've got to spend our pennies very wisely between now and the end of the night. Let's try and get around 11 million for Moreira. Well, that might be a bit too much. I should go 10 million. No, let's go 10.5. Do you want to change your mind any more times, Doxy boy? Let's go 10.5 million for Moreira. They've got the money, Paris FC, being a club now backed by the Bahrainian investment group. But yeah, 10.5 mil. We'll take that for Moreira. And, well, we're not going to be able to afford to bring Malo Gusto back. That is a target of mine, despite the fact that the fans aren't happy with him after the transfer to Chelsea. But, yeah, we're going to have 5 or 4 hours to go. Another bid comes in, this time for our backup striker. I'm not against selling him, because I like Tracy long term. We might be raising a bit more cash than I thought here. To be fair, I don't really have the money to bring in a backup striker if we were to sell Cancelo. Is he on a rotational squad role? He's not. He's on important. I bet he'd want more game time as well. We do have this lad, Zietler, to be fair. And whilst I like the idea of this lad being a nice backup, he's not actually getting any better. Do you know what? I'm going to accept that. I'm going to accept that. Even though he's a young talent, I would like to use him. I'm backing Tracy, man. I'm backing the boy from New Zealand who's still getting better as well. So I'm going to sell him and just promote Zietler to the bench because he's still getting better. Let's do it. I love the fact we haven't had a bid yet for Morton or for Fan. I don't want to tempt fate, but it looks like I am going to keep both of them here. And those were the two I was desperate to keep hold of. We should be able to get a little bit more for the young lad from Como. They've got the money, of course, and they'll meet 19.5 mil. So actually, in the end, you know what? We might be able to bring Malo Gusto back after all. And there we go, sales 2 and 3 of the day complete. First it was Honest to Arsenal, and now it's Moreira to Paris FC. And I've sold Cancio back to Italy as he's off to Como. So that's really good, man. We raised like £37 million in about 8 hours, so really good sales there. And our budget now rising to just over 48 million. That's enough for me to get the right back in. Let's go bring him back. Yep, last season Forest finished in 8th place. It was a decent campaign for them, but not good enough to get them back into Europe where we are right now. But as I'm running down the list of players here, I'm going to try and bring him back. The only problem is, it's on 105 grand a week. And I'd love to bring Malo back to Lyon. I know he's a bit of a polarising figure with the Lyon fans after his departure to Chelsea, but I can afford the transfer fee, but I mean, that will blow the wage budget up. I don't know if I want to do that. I'd say the lowest I'm willing to go down to is around £60,000 a week. I should say the highest. The highest I go down to. You probably heard I said lowest. All right, put me on 600 grand a week. But because he's out of contract in 24 months, we should be able to get him for close to the market valuation, which would be around 35 mil. It's a great deal. We don't. Okay, no. Yeah, I'm not paying that, mate. I'm not even getting close to that either. But 37 million, and yeah, okay, there we go. I knew that was smoke and mirrors, man. Come on, he's out of contract in 2 years, son. 38 mil, that's 3 mil the market valuation. Now, this is the player I want, but let's take a look at the contract and see how much he's asking for. I have a feeling he'd be willing to take a major pay cut, but it depends just how much he'd be willing to give up to come and return here. And again, a bit of a polarising figure, of course, as we know, but I love the idea of trying to turn him from a villain to a hero, to win the fans back, I think that would be really cool. And one way you can do that, Malo, is by giving a big pay cut. Let's see if it'd go down to as much as I think. I think he's going to walk out. I'm going to offer him 40 grand a week, but I think he's just going to walk out when I do that. But we're not... Okay, we're 61 grand a week. All right, it's still a big pay cut. It's still a big pay cut, and don't forget, we are going to see our wage budget increase once we get to the Champions League. Now, I said 60 was the most I would probably go, but thinking about it, now with inflation in the modern game as well, maybe 70 grand a week, but it's still a lot of money. I'm going to ask him to reduce the salary even further, 55 grand a week. I'm not sure he'll be happy about that. No, he's definitely not happy. Okay, all right, decision to be made. Tell you what, Malo, let's meet somewhere in the middle. 60 grand a week, $500,000 sign-on bonus. Still no, bro. That is, you're asking for a lot here, man. We're not going to blow the wage budget up for one player. I don't care if you're academy graduate, would be one of the best players in the team. Still not going to do it. I'm going to stick to 60 grand a week, but I'll be willing to improve the sign-on bonus. And if he says no, he says no, and forget about it. I'm not changing the wage budget for anyone. 60 grand a week it is. Massive sign-on bonus, but returning home, going to try and turn him from villain to hero, taking the wage cut. Let's see if this pays off. So he gave up an extra 9 grand a week in exchange for £210,000 up front. That's a really good deal from us long term, you know. I'll take that. I said the most I put him on is 60 grand a week. It would still make him our highest earner by quite some distance, but he's got the quality, he's got the ability, and whilst a bit of a polarising figure in the prime of his career right now, returning to Lyon, the fans, it might take a while for him to win them back, but I'm sure he will in time. I love it when players have a redemption arc. Let's see if Malo have a similar one here. Returning to the Groupama Stadium, welcome home to Olympique Lyonnais, Malo Gusto. Yep, 27 years old, still getting better. Since moving on to Forest, he's developed quite well, and he's still getting better now as well. I think his prime will probably be around 85, 86 overall. You know I love the stamina. He's absolutely rapid. He's great going forward as well. What a signing this could be for Olympique Lyonnais. Can he win the fans over? That's the question. I love it, man. Like, there is something about players having a redemption arc that I really, really like, because ultimately, like, everyone makes mistakes, everyone makes errors in judgment, everyone hurts people at times. Like, when you get older, you realise that people are going to hurt you, and you're going to hurt other people, you know, with your decision making in time. But there's always a chance to put it right, and I think Malo Gusto will have the chance to do that here. I'm buzzing to have him back, man, I tell you. So I would say that's us done for the deadline day. I'll say that's us done for the window. Is there enough time for Morton Fofana to leave? Nah, that's it. There's only 3 hours to go. So even if we did get a bid, there wouldn't be enough time. So that's it. We've kept hold of Morton and Fofana. That's what I was desperate to do. And whilst there's always the January window, I have kept my star players here for now. Have we got enough money for another signing? Nah, 7 million. We'll leave it till January, because I do predict there'll be a bid for Morton or Fofana there. So there we go. There we go. The transfer window over. 5 new players coming in. All decent young talents, exactly what we were looking for. 4 of them being French as well for the nationalist feel. Bringing back an academy player, you know I absolutely love to do that in my career modes as well. Trying to give them a redemption arc chance as well. And we've got rid of a lot of the Deadwood players too that were aging and needed to be shipped on. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the window. And again, because of the way that career mode is now, depth isn't really a concern. Players don't really get that tired in between games anymore. And as we know, players don't get injured anymore, which we know EA desperately need to work on. But I'm pleased with it, man. I'm pleased how the team is looking. We haven't brought in world-class players who are just far too good for the team at our current level. We've brought in that decent young talent. Yeah, I'm pleased with this. I'm pleased how the team's looking, and we still might fine-tune it in January as well. So the top deals in the end, wow, look at that. William Pacho off to Bayer Leverkusen for £102.2 million from Real Madrid. Elise joins Barca from Bayern for £94.5 million, and Carreras to Villarreal in a blockbuster deadline day as well. That's not even counting our signing of Malo Gusto. All right, I'm happy with that. And of course, we'll have Gusto going back to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge as well. When we take them on in the Europa League. We had a great little rivalry with Chelsea when we were managing Sunderland, and we should have one now as well. One thing I forgot, by the way, is that Lyon have 16 and 17 as numbers retired. So, yeah, if I do forget this at times, please remind me of this, guys. 16 and 17 are retired, so I'll stick to that out of respect. But anyway, following game, let's jump into it. It is going to be Stade Rennais away from home. Big fixture here as we look for our 4th straight clean sheet and our 4th straight win as we aim to keep pace with the usual front runners, Paris Saint-Germain. Could we be in a title race in our first season? I doubt it, but definitely a top 3 place. That's what I'm targeting. If we're going to do that, wins away from home will be priceless. Following game, let's play 2 more today. Stade Rennais away. Yeah, I love the idea of redemption arcs, man. It's always so cool to bring a player back who may have left and been a bit disappointing in the fans' eyes, but you know, to give them a chance to repay, you know, the hurt. It's always really cool to try it, man. And let's see if Malo Gusto can do it. Oh, what a touch! What a touch! This kid, well, he's not come back, but he's come here and looks the real deal. Frederick Fabre does it again. This kid is unbelievable. 2-2 for the New Zealand forward. What a flick. I have to say, this season is going completely in the opposite direction to the way I thought it would. I believe we would be scoring goals for fun with Fabre coming in, a great inside forward in Fofana, and that that rapid new-gen striker, my kind of guy up top as well. Yet defensively, with a new look back line, we'd be really struggling. It's gone the opposite way. It's gone the opposite way. We're shutting the door on teams, but we can't score more than one. But speaking of shutting the door, it's just been unlocked. What a turn, what a finish, what a goal. Oh, not quite the result we were hoping for. First slip-up of the season, but still unbeaten, to be fair, in a way against a good Stade Rennais side. Not the worst point to claim there, considering we are, of course, in our first season of a transitional rebuild. But let's play one more, and we'll end on this. Back at the Group Hammer Stadium, aim to stay 100% at home as we take on RC Lens, going for what will be 4 wins in our first 5 games in Ligue 1 and staying in contention for a Champions League place early doors. Final game today, RC Lens at home, Allez Lyon. The first season with Lyon isn't about winning a Ligue 1 and Coupe de France double. As much as I would like to do that, it's not our main priority in the first season, nor is winning the Europa League. As much as I'd like to end the trophy drought, as much as I would like to get us back in the Champions League for next season, which again, don't forget in French football, the top 3 go straight into the league phase, and 4th, oh, Frederick. He's too good, mate, he's too good. And I want to give him the assist as well. Sorry, Tracy, I want the assist. Oh, I should have cut him back, come on. I didn't want to be cheap. I wanted the assist for Frederick as well. But yeah, in French football, the top 3 is a guaranteed league phase finish in the Champions League, and 4th goes into a qualifier. But yeah, the first season's all about laying down the groundwork. I'm not going for the league and title in season 1. I'm not trying to compete with PSG. I'm just trying to build this Lyon team gradually and get the blueprint laid down and clear for everyone to see. We know what team we're trying to build here, but it's not done in 1 season. I am so annoyed at myself for not cutting that back. I didn't want to be cheap, man, but I should have done it. That's the sort of thing you do when you tore 3 goals up, Doxy. Not when you're still tied at 0-0. Great turn for Fofana, but this will be a goal for Frederick, if not the assist he could have had earlier. Every single game so far, we've scored a goal in each. Frederick's had a hand in all of them. Lyon 1-0 up before the break. We're into the final 2 minutes of normal time. Once again, it's been a really, really dull game in terms of action, and it's going to be our 4th win in 5, but all with the same scoreline. But our rock-solid defence is the reason why at the moment we are unbeaten in our first 5 games and have picked up 13 points for a possible 15. It's not a perfect start from Olympique Lyonnais, but it's definitely close to that. No such problems early doors with the side from France. The only question is how long can we keep it going. But that'll do it for today's episode of Career Mode, guys. Massive thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then please do drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day. I'll return the next one with more games in Ligue 1, aim to build on this fantastic start and our first games in Europe as well very soon.